There we go. So maybe, can you hear me now? Hopefully you can hear me now. Uh, I'm testing before. Oh, yes, I think you can. Okay. Yes, I think you can. Can you? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So I apologize. I am in my car, and I apparently turned the audio off. So, Parker Square. The farmer's market at Parker Square. I wanted to set the record straight about what really is happening there because, whoo, that person's close to me. Because there is a lot of misinformation going on, and I'll tell you, the owners are taking heat, and the owner happens to be a very dear friend of mine, and it is, I mean, it's ridiculous. So I wanted to set the record straight, and this is straight. This is the real deal. It's not hearsay. This is not anything. This is what's really happening at Parker Square. So, as I was saying, Parker Square has had the farmer's market for 9 years. 9 years the farmer's market has been at Parker Square. Did you know, and what's funny is the farmer's market didn't tell you this, did you know that they do not pay Parker Square a dime to use their space? Not a dime. So think about it. They come every weekend. They've now required that they put, a porta potty in there so that people have a place to go so they don't go to the restaurants. And they've never paid a dime. You know what else that they do is they drive on the grass. They break the sprinkler heads. They leave trash when people leave. The trash cans are all full. Parker Square has asked them to clean up after themselves. They won't do it. They won't do it. I mean, my gosh. Can you imagine if you went to somebody's house and you stayed there and then you didn't even take the sheets off the bed and bring them down to the washing machine? I mean, every friend who ever stays at my house, that's what they do. Can you imagine being so bold that you just squat there for the last 9 years, and then when Parker Square says, you know what, I think we need to rethink things, you get all up in arms and say that, oh my God, they kicked us out. I can't believe it. That's what I don't understand. That's what I do not understand is how somebody can be so bold. A business, they charge those vendors a lot, and they require a commitment that is a lot. And yet they would not pay to clean up after themselves or to help repair the damage that was done. You talk about corporate greed. That sounds pretty greedy. If I'm partnering with another business, I want to make it a win-win, because then it makes sense for both of us. And then we both feel good about it. But not this one. No. And now they're on Facebook and they're saying, oh, we got kicked out and we just don't understand. You're not even a paying tenant. And what's sad is the paying tenants lost their parking. They would have food trucks in front of their restaurant. I mean, come on. That's not what we want. And ownership has changed at Parker Square. And I don't know if you've been by there recently, but it looks a hell of a lot nicer than it did. The landscaping is looking so much better. Everything is looking great. I love Parker Square. I mean, my dream ever since probably we moved here, I guess, was that I had an office at Parker Square. And one of these days I will get my office at Parker Square because I just love it. I think I love the architecture. I love that our church is now over there. My son's school was there. I mean, just love Parker Square. But make sure that you get both sides of the story. And don't just fall for the inflammatory posts by the company that was very greedy. Yep, I'm calling them out. Because you know what? They could have said, we will be a good partner and pay for the damage that we cause, for the money that we're making, and be a nice fellow business owner. But instead, they chose to get butthurt and be upset that Parker Square said, you know what? I'm sorry, but we're going to go in a different direction. We want to bring more community events. And I don't know if you know this, but Riverwalk was always supposed to be where the farmers market was going to be. It just took a while for Riverwalk. We all know that one, right? But there was space dedicated for the farmers market. Well, what happened is, since it did take so long, the farmers market came to Flower Mound with this company, and Parker Square said, sure, we'd be happy to host. 9 years ago, they said that. They have not received a dime. So when you look at what that other company is saying about how awful they've been treated, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. What's sad is in their posts, when tenants of Parker Square who speak on behalf of the leadership and management and ownership of Parker Square in a positive way, they've removed those comments. They don't want to hear the other side. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And so if you're going to sit there and fall for that, make sure you get the other side of the story, because they are not the victim. They were the user. And if they would have just said, hey, how can we make this a win-win, which is what business owners should do when you're operating in a community, you want to make it a win-win with other business owners. And if you don't, why are you here? I wouldn't want to do business with you. No way. But they weren't. They were here to take and never give. And certainly in my world, I don't have time for that. Especially then when you come back and you say that you're the victim. Because that's BS. And I am fired up this morning because I've seen a lot of the posts. And the owner reached out to me, who's a dear friend. And she's like, I was up all night. I'm just trying to figure out how to respond. And I said, you know what? Let me take that heat off of you. Because that's not fair. And if anything, I'm a Libra. Everything's got to be fair. It's got to be balanced. And that was so one-sided. And that's not how I roll. So I'm reaching out to all of my peeps here and just saying, hey, get the rest of the story. Because you're hearing something. They didn't pay a dime. Not a dime to use that space. And that's not good. So, would love to get your comments. Would love if, they would reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to them about what it's like to be a good corporate citizen, a good community collaborator, somebody who loves this community so much. Because I can certainly teach them how they should have gone about this. And as well as any business owner. I mean, I'm happy. Oh my God. If anybody thinks that I'm not one to sit down and chat, you are wrong. I am an open book. What you see is what you get. And hopefully one of these days we'll start Coffee with Kris again so that I can, get back into that rhythm. Because that was nice seeing people at Coffee with Kris. But I just wanted to come on here and say, you know what? I support Parker Square. And make sure that you get the whole story instead of just half of it. That's very biased. They'd never tell you that they never paid a dime. They won't tell you that because that's the embarrassing part. God, I'd be embarrassed. Can you imagine that? I use somebody's space weekly to make money, and I don't even acknowledge, thank them to say, thank you so much for letting me use your space so that I could make money. That's BS. BS. God, that really ticks me off. Because, they used us. They used us. They used those vendors. They used Parker Square. They took advantage of our community that's strong. And I'm sorry, that doesn't fly with me. So, like I said, reach out to me if you want to. Be happy to talk about this. You know where I stand. I'm not changing my mind. If they would have been better corporate citizens, if they would have been better team players, this wouldn't have happened. But they chose to go the victim route. And sorry, they ain't no victim. If anybody's a victim, it's the people at Parker Square. So, well, have a good Saturday. Talk to you guys later.